guys, what's up? It's me, Carissa. So the video that I'm bringing you guys today is actually, it's kind of like trending right now. It's like the Tumblr girl Instagram baddie look, accompanied by freckles. I didn't want to do like super crazy freckles, and you can see at one point in the video it did get a little bit out of hand. So I apologize for that, but I did go back and try to like smooth things over. It's not exactly how I would like to look them. It's not exactly how I would like them to look. I didn't have like eyeliner or lip liner that was like the right color to make the actual dots, so I just made do with what I had. Okay guys, if you're interested in knowing how to do some of this or all of this, just keep watching. Hopefully it's not going to be too long, and I will see you guys right back here at the end, okay? Mwah!
Okay guys, let's hop into this. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is using my Maybelline Fit Me Foundation in the matte and poreless version. I'm using this because the basic thing about being an Instagram or a Tumblr girl is having that really natural look to your face, like a matte look. Obviously I have redness and dryness and itchy spots on my face, so I needed to cover those up so that it wasn't really, my face didn't look flat out busted, basically. If you want to go for a natural look, feel free and go ahead. I just really want to cover up that redness on my skin. The next thing I'm going to be doing is using my Maybelline Fit Me concealers in the shade Light and Fair, and I'm going to be covering up my under eye circles and also using the fair color to prime my eyelids. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is sanitizing my fingertips. Lately I've been blending out my concealer using my ring finger and my middle finger versus my beauty blender. I just feel like the bags under my eyes are too dark and the beauty blender leaves too sheer of a coverage. So I have been using my fingertips because it's more of a generous process. One thing I want to add is it's always best to pat your concealer under your eyes rather than swipe it. Once you see me get to my upper lid, I will swipe, but the under eye, I'm getting older and I'm super sensitive to the idea of wrinkles. So obviously if you're pulling under your eye, it's going to give you under eye wrinkles, and I want to avoid that at all costs because I'm only 25 and I already have a bunch, so yeah. Alrighty, so at this point I'm going to be setting my under eye and my eyelid. I don't really want to highlight, so I'm using that kind of peachy color and the yellow color to just set everything because, like I said, it's more of a natural finish and no one's eyes are naturally that bright. So now what I'm going to be doing is just highlighting my chin, my lip, my nose, and a little bit of my forehead. I'm using the darker of the two concealer colors because, like I said, I don't want to have a stark white look to my face, but I also don't want to go kind of one-dimensional, and this is where we're going to be applying some of the freckles, and I really want them to stand out. Afterwards, you already know the drill. I'm going to blend it out using that brush, and I'm going to set it using a setting powder. Moving on to bronzing, I'm just going to bronze the edges of my face. I'm not really going to contour because I don't want the focus to be the contour. I want it to be my cutesy freckles. What you are going to see me doing though is bronzing the middle of the bridge of my nose and under my eyes where I'm going to be putting those freckles, just because I want a darker canvas for those freckles. I know it's something different, but it's a trick that I think helps a lot. For my eyes, I'm going to be using the Fortune Favors palette by Makeup Revolution. I'm going to use this packing brush, and I'm going to pack on this like kind of creamy bone shade color onto my eyelid, basically covering the whole eye to set it. This look is super neutral. It's not very smoky. It's not very blown out. It's definitely, your eyes are not really the focus. It's more the wing and the eyeliner and the eyebrows that are the focus. So you're not going to see me doing a lot of the things that I would normally do. This is just a super simple eye. Now I'm going to be taking one of my smaller blending brushes, and I'm going to dip it into this orange shimmery color. I know it's a little bit scary, but once it's all done, this orange color actually looks really cute and it kind of makes the look. What I'm going to be doing is bringing it onto my lid and my crease into the middle and into the inner corner. And then I'm going to pack it onto that outer line, basically drawing an invisible line with it to the edge of my eyebrow. This look, I really want it to kind of expand out more than I want it to be smoky and blown out, like I said earlier. The next thing I'm going to be doing is taking a smaller blending brush, and I'm going to be dipping it into these brown slash gray slash green purple colors, and I'm going to be putting them on my outer edge of my eye again, continuing that line from my eyelid to my eyebrow. And once a lot of the color is gone, then I'm going to start pulling it into the middle of my eye, but I do not want a lot of color to go into my inner eye. That's really what makes this look. So what I'm going to do is go back in with that same combination of colors and buff it back onto my eyelid, and then I'm going to use that brush with the orange color, and I'm going to kind of smoke it out a little bit, soften up the edges so that it's not as harsh. And I'm just going to go back and forth between those two brushes and till I get the color consistency that I want. Next, I'm going to use a more dense, tighter brush in that graphite color, and I'm going to create another line, the same line, and you can see how it's really dark. It might even get a little bit messy, but I wouldn't focus on that too much because we're going to clean that up with concealer. The main thing with this look is really just buffing everything out so that it doesn't look intense, but you're still getting the color payoff. I really wanted to use just the Fortune Favors palette, but the colors just weren't really working for me to blend, so I moved to this Tarte palette, and I'm using those two warmer toned colors to really get this look to blend out the way that I want it to. As you can see, I'm starting to sweep it into my inner eye. I'm almost using that light color to replace the orange color. Now what I'm going to be doing is taking this big fluffy Morphe blending brush. I'm going to dip it in this orange color and that silverish tannish color next to it. And I'm going to be using those to soften up the rest of the orange and darker tones in this look. It's really going to make a lot of a difference if you are blending and softening things up. It's going to help it to not look as harsh, and it's going to make the eyes less of the focus, which is exactly what you want with a look like this. Now I'm going to be taking that concealer and cleaning up the edges. I'm just going to draw a little line and kind of use my finger and inch my way up. I'm doing it kind of quickly, but if you're still new to this kind of thing, it's a good idea to take your time. That way you don't mess up all of your hard work that you've just spent about 10 minutes shading and figuring out. I'm going to use that big fluffy brush one more time and just go over that line so it's not as harsh, and then I'm going to move on to my eyeliner. I'm using this liquid eyeliner pen by Maybelline. It's their Eye Studio collection. First, we should say a prayer that my eyeliner comes out okay. Thank you, Jesus. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that eyelid taut so that I can get a really straight line. And I'm going to keep this as close to my lash line as possible. I'm thinking about making a how to do your eyeliner video because a lot of people have been asking me about it lately. I'm going to use the pointy end, and I'm going to kind of mark where I want that wing to be. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the liner sideways on its side, and I'm going to drag. Then what I'm going to do is connect it to the rest of that liner so that it's not just a little stick. Even if I don't mess up my eyeliner, I still like to go in with concealer on a very sharp brush, and I like to clean up underneath that wing because I like it to look really sharp and really crisp. What's the point of a wing if it doesn't slay, right? This step is totally optional, but I wanted my wing to be super sharp and super black, so I dipped the same brush after I cleaned it into my Maybelline black pot of eyeliner, And what you'll see me doing is dipping it in there and then cleaning it really, really well, because you want that brush to be as thin as possible so that your line doesn't get messed up. Here I'm just showing you like how thin I got that brush. Now what I'm going to do is just go from the far corner of where I want my wing to be, and I'm going to just lightly pull. I'm not tugging or anything, I'm just lightly flicking and pulling. So now I'm going to be doing my under eye. There's not really a lot to do here. I'm just going to be using a pencil brush, kind of a bigger pencil brush, and I am going to dip it in that orange shade and that tan shade, and I'm going to just hit the lower rim of my lid. I'm not actually getting it in my lash line, I'm just hitting that lower lid line, and I'm buffing it out. The next thing I'm going to do is put some nude eyeliner in my lower lash line. Now I'm going to take this angled brush in those two colors that we were using from earlier, and I'm going to line the outer 3/4 of my lower lid with them. This is really going to help open up my eyes rather than making them look closed. Now what I'm going to be doing is taking this pencil brush and I'm just going to buff out that shadow so it doesn't look so dark. I'm going to be curling my lashes and using these two L'Oreal mascaras. One is the Telescopic and one is the Voluminous. I'm going to be mostly using this Telescopic mascara. Something that's important about being that Tumblr girl or that Instagram baddie is having long, thin lashes. I'm not comfortable using false lashes yet on camera, so I decided to just do as good as I could with the mascara. I'm going to do a small layer on my lower lashes, nothing too much, but still enough so that there's mascara on my lower lashes. Now what I'm going to be doing is using one coat, literally one coat, of this Carbon Black Voluminous Mascara. And I'm going to stick to the base of my lashes. I'm not really bringing it up. I'm using it on the base just to kind of give some volume to my lashes. And then I'm going to go right back in it and use that same Telescopic mascara that I was using before. Now moving on to the freckles. So what I'm going to be doing is using these colors in my contour palette. And I'm going to use that eyebrow brush and I'm just going to kind of like scrub against the colors to make some loose powder. I'm going to use this pointy tipped eyebrow filler inner brush, I guess that's what I would call it. And I'm going to leave dots. You definitely want to take your time when you're doing this, because if you rush, it's super easy to get dots too close together and just, it looks kind of messy. So I'm taking my time and I'm dipping in one color at a time. Right now I believe I'm using the cool toned color. And I'm going to make a mask almost across my nose, and then I do bring it up to my forehead eventually. Also, something that you want to keep in mind is, yeah, these dots are going to look crazy, but we're going to soften them up later. So don't worry about how dark and how intense they are at this moment. So for the darkest color, I'm going to use this very fine tipped brush. I don't even remember where I got it from. I think it came with something. And I'm going to make very small dots, and you're going to see it's pretty dark. We're going to soften those up, but I'm using that to make the smaller dots out of the darker shadow. If I would have used a bigger brush for the darker shadow, it would have looked kind of dirty, I feel like. I honestly think I made too many freckles, but I don't think it looks terrible. Like I said earlier, you can make these however intense or however many you would like to make. This next step is very important. What I did was use my foundation brush from earlier that still had foundation on it but wasn't covered in foundation, and I am blotting those spots. I'm not patting, I'm not swiping, I'm just blotting across those dots to soften them up and make them less intense. This part I feel like is kind of optional too, but I'm taking that eyebrow brush and I'm dipping it in one of the lighter shades, and I'm using it to create a more freckled effect. This comes with those like smaller, more, I would say opaque freckles. I think that's a good word for it. And that's basically it for the freckles, you guys. Now I'm going to take a step back, admire my work, and see how I like it. I can honestly say that I love the way the makeup turned out for this look, but the hair is what really made me fall in love with this tutorial. What I'm going to do is I'm going to part my hair evenly into 2 ponytails. I prefer to use 2 black elastic hair ties. What I'm doing is brushing the top half of my hair and then pulling out the bottom half of my hair with my hand to give it a more volumized look. Once I have it all up and sorted how I would like it to be sorted, I'm going to twist it around. It doesn't really matter if they're tight right now because we're going to go back and muss them up a little bit to give them more volume. You just want to get them up and in the general position that you'd like them in. Now you're going to want to use a bobby pin to just kind of secure it and loosen it up the way that you like it. This, again, is just a rough estimate until you get the second ponytail up and you're really able to see if you like the shape or not. Once I get it up in the way that I want it, I just kind of mess it up and figure out the shape. And then what I'm going to do is take bobby pins and pin it in place so that it looks like it's meant to be that way. This side was a little bit more wound up, so I wanted to redo it, and it looks a lot better this time. The next thing I'm going to do is pull out some hair so that it looks a little bit messed up and not nearly as neat and polished and tidy as it did. I think this is a really cute, messy look. As you can see, I played with these for a few minutes, and once I decided I liked them, I was ready to move on. Next, I'm going to line my lips using the NYX matte liner in the shade Tea and Cookies. This is something that I think is important too to the Tumblr girl / Instagram baddie look, is having a cute nude color. I didn't want to go with something more yellowy or tannish. I wanted to go with something more pink. Now I'm going to be doing my lips. I'm going to use the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Stockholm. And I'm just going to apply one coat of that, a generous coat of it, on my lips. And I'm going to give that a few minutes to dry.
Okay guys, so that's a completed look. You guys made it through that whole thing. As you can see, there was definitely a few things that I messed up on, that I was not good on. Kind of off of my game, but I still didn't want to leave you guys. I mean, it's been 3 weeks since I last posted a video, and I didn't want to take too long from posting another video. I do have a couple of exciting things coming in the mail that I want to share with you guys. Some stuff that I used in this tutorial. If you guys want to see reviews on those things that I've gotten the last couple times that I've like shopped or had something purchased for me as a gift, I would love to go over those things with you guys. Also, I've been thinking about doing a fall favorites video, but I'm not really sure if I'm going to or not. If that's something you want to see, let's do it. Let me know. I will do it. You know, I'm down to do almost anything. I also have some like dark fall lip colors that I've been wanting to use, so maybe I'll do something with that. Alright guys, well thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that this was something different than what I normally do, and I hope that you guys Really appreciated it, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Okay, bye bye.